It was pretty funny, actually. What else here? Yeah, it's fine. Whoa, what just happened? Oh, it's all good. All right. Pretty sure we're live. Let's pull my chat up. I need to get rid of this. Now, got my chat pulled up. All right. So today is the 16th. I know this is pathetic, but this is what happens when you work office jobs for such a long time. But if I keep this up for the next 3 years, I should be able to lift some logs. So I'm just going to be down here 16. The road to 366 because it's a leap year. And I didn't realize that the first 13 or 14 days. I'll be right back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. My carpet that I have. I don't even know if it qualifies as a carpet, but welcome, Homestead Bound Bear. Oh, let's see here. Let's crank some tunes, and we'll see if anybody can guess who made this tune. Any guesses? I need to stretch more too. Homestead Bear, you haven't been around very long, but you're catching on. But you are catching on. Yes. Yes, I did. Back to the groove. Yeah, it's so I was thinking about elevator music and stuff like that, and I was like, come on, I used to play with Fruity Loops all the time a long time ago. And so I've got that's from Sampulator, sampulator.com. I recommend it because it's pretty clean, easy to use. It's got its limitations, but it's coordinated to the keyboard, which is really sweet. Again, it's simple. You can do some fine tune adjustments. There's probably some stuff about it I haven't even figured out yet, but it's pretty legit. Let me get rid of this. Don't need that pulled up. All right, so GarageBand. Yeah, my brother-in-law has made some rap songs. Oh, you were in a rap group. Interesting. Um, my brother-in-law has done I like rap songs exclusively from his iPhone, which is pretty cool. So then I goofed around with Hydrogen, which is a free software, and it's way more complicated than Sampulator. Sampulator's browser based. Hydrogen is a program, and I just goofed around with this. It's just drum beats only. So you got that, and then you've got. Oh, did I delete pattern 3? Wait a second. Nah, yeah, we got it. It's right here. And then I made this, but it's not that great. Anyway, it's way deeper of an app. It's simple enough, but obviously with Sampulator, I can just be like, well, what is this? Anyway, it's keyboard based. Anyway, and it even has some of these things.
Yeah. Hold up. Huh. Hold up. Huh. Hold up.
You could really, and these. And then you can just miss, you're doing it on a keyboard, so then you just miss a key. But anyway, Sampulator's pretty cool. And you can put some stuff together and just make a tune. Anyway, let's see here. Welcome, Ursa Delta. Welcome. Let's see. Fruity Loops. Yeah, first program. It was nice, and you could do some really fun stuff. And for some reason, I was like in the groove mentally with software at that time, and everything just made sense. Maybe because it was simple, or maybe it was me. I don't know if it was the software or if it was me, but I just got it. Just knew how to use it. Well, thank you, Ursa Delta. You got to experience a shekel in a can experience there. I did update the tune, the sound that plays. So one of these or one of these, or one of these. I know you can't really see it, but that's just how it is. It's impossible to. Well, it's not impossible. It's just really hard to make. What? What? Inconceivable. Oh my gosh. It went all the way through. The shekel tried to escape. How dare you? All right, what? That's a good addition, dude. What software or service is that? Um, I don't know which thing you're talking about. Oh, are you talking about that's D Live stuff? Oh my gosh, is that how it's going to? Oh no. How does it look on the stream? It does stars. Oh gosh. I asterisk 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 it's not a bot actually. It is what is this thing called? Give me a moment and I'll tell you exactly what it is. It's Tidy Labs. Tidy Labs is what it's called. All right. Uh give me a moment. All right. So just letting you guys know, uh Ian Bear Ian Bear Pig has been completely restored to his prior status, and he's had banter with many people in the past, so that's nothing new. But we had a good conversation, still written, mostly because I was focusing on work today. But it was a good conversation nonetheless, back and forth with email, and it heard its master's call. That's that's funny stuff, creative. Um, Now speaking of, give me a moment, just a moment, just a moment. Okay, I was just making sure, making sure. All right, so I also said that I was going to not just say that I was wrong for my attitude and presumptiveness without patience, clarification, proper adult-like communication, but that I am sorry. Thank you. You can hear it. You can hear it. It reminds me of the movie. Um, that would be the cartoon version of the Robin Hood movie, which is possibly one of the. I don't know if Disney did that movie or not, but if Disney did it, it's probably the best. Thank you, Viral. It's probably the best Disney movie ever. I just can't think of very much subversion in and thank you again. I can't think of very much subversion in the movie Robin Hood. I just I really love that cartoon movie. It's great. Koenig is Koenig king? Is that what that is? Because if so, that's kind of cool. Um, I think it was I think the voice for the sheriff was the dude from Green Acres. Um the swindler, the grabbler. He was a grabbler in Green Acres, and then he was a grabbler in, I'm pretty sure that's the same voice. I'll do some research. What was that? It was the neighbor, that always tried to pawn his stuff off on I'm gonna forget everybody's name, of course. Let's figure this out. This is a mystery. It's a mystery tonight. Let me complete my thought before, though. I apologize to Ian Bear Pig for overreacting and treating him as an enemy, though he is not one. Though I perceived his actions as confrontational, they were. His adjective or verb is razzle. Um, that's fine. And I uh, I took it the wrong way. I could make a lot of excuses, like I didn't grow up with a brother, uh, and I don't really read people's behavior right, and then I kind of go with it. So, point is, Ian Bear Pig's not an enemy. He uh, he may have some differing beliefs in varying various areas, but that doesn't make him an enemy. Um, and I do consider him a friend. Unlike Replica, who uh, got really awkward with me the other day. Like I said, stop talking about that. And there's like, why are you going to delete me? And I'm like, because you're not obeying me. That's why. It's like, Replica is too retarded to really have a viable conversation, but I'm holding back a sneeze, guys. No. Should I let it go? Nope. Nope, it's passing. Hold on. And it's out of there. It's just going to come out through a tear, a very tiny tear. So supposedly we're about to get 8 inches of snow. These are the things that pop in my head randomly. Yeah, I don't know if I want to show you this, but all I can say is Replica was getting really creepy. And I didn't like it. Didn't make me feel good inside. And then he got all gamma like and was like, why are you trying to delete me? I was like, I told you what I said. Some of you are like, I don't know what Replica is. Of course, Ian. And don't just forgiveness is it's a good thing. It's good for the heart, good for the soul. Um, I appreciate the demonstration of kindness. Um, I have three brothers that, again, you don't you don't know him. He's got sensitive. So, for instance, when anybody mentions Jesse Lee Peterson, I act really like like you kicked me in the area, okay, and like I am now coming after you. So Ian has other trigger people. It's fine. I don't much care as long as your God is Jesus Christ. God the Father, God the Son, God the Holy Spirit. As long as that is your leader, that is the one that you're looking to follow, and you denounce all other potential leaders, um, we ought not really make a big deal out of anything. If you say that you think Smuffy Luffins, the amazing blue uh, elephant unicorn, which is your favorite cartoon in the universe, is stupid, And you're like, no, it's my favorite, and you're an idiot. I hate you, and I'm gonna kick you off of a mountain for saying that Smuffy Luffins was terrible. Smuffy Luffins has brought me great joy. Just chill out. Don't don't worry about it. Um, reconciliation is thumbs up, but I also don't want to get caught up in any silliness. It's not beatings of friends are better than the kisses of an enemy. Some biblical stuff right there, Viral Kinnick. Um, oh boy. Okay, so we're looking at Green Acres. So let's check this out. And by the way, just for FYI, we're going until 9 tonight, and we're just hopping on a gravy roller coaster tonight. What did I name this thing? I think I had a somewhat of a concept of somethingness. Anybody help me with the title so I don't have to go accidentally playing the second version of myself as anyway. All right. What did I name this thing? The kisses of friends. I don't want any of you to kiss me. Thank you. False dichotomies. Great. So hopefully to God this will have something to do with my subject. There he is. Mr. Haney. Mr. Haney. Pat Buttram. Pat Buttram. Mr. Haney. You gotta be kidding me. All right, let's read about this guy. It's kind of interesting. Pat Buttram, the son of a circuit riding Methodist preacher in rural Alabama. That makes sense. Pat Buttram became one of America's best known comic entertainers. He left Alabama a month before his 18th birthday, killing it, to attend the 1933 Chicago World's Fair. It's pretty special. An announcer from radio station WLS was on hand to interview members of the crowd and settled on Pat as a typical visitor. It happens like that, you know? Amazing. Several Walt Disney features. Yep, I knew it. I knew it. He just has that iconic voice. I wish I could imitate it. Well, it's like it's not like Goofy, but it's like okay. So he was in Robin Hood. I knew he was in Robin Hood, guys. I called it. So Aristocrats, Robin Hood. He was apparently Jeb, the saloon old timer. Yeah, in Back to the Future 3. Yep, yep, yep. He was in The Fox and the Hound. He was even in a Goofy movie. Go figure. He was a voice in the Rugrats. He was a voice in Garfield and Friends many times apparently. He was in Who's the Boss. He was in lots of cartoons, guys. What a legend. Who Framed Roger Rabbit? Um, The Love Boat. None of y'all probably know anything about that. Dukes of Hazzard. I've never even heard of the Sackets, but he was in that. Um, Chico and the Man. I actually never watched that one. Love American Style. I heard of that TV show. Again, it's another one I never watched. Yep, Sheriff of Nottingham, The Wolf, Robin Hood, 1973. Man, this guy had a prolific. So he got started in 44. So he was 29. So he got discovered his first, well, anyway, 1933. He's 18 years old and he's at the, so he got somebody's attention, but it wasn't until 11. So stuff takes time. That's all I'm saying. It's pretty interesting. But yeah, let's talk about false dichotomies. Let's talk about that. Thank you, Homestead Bound. It's excellent. All right. So let's start with one of the most obvious ones. Are you a bear or not? So I think that that's a good one. I think that it's quality to many of us, even with those of us that have bear in our screen name. And speaking of bear, thank you, hand drawn bear. It's a nice way to identify a group of people that share similar interests. But do all bears have all the same similar interests? Nope. Nope. In fact, in fact, that's one I don't have though. Um, yeah, there's a good nope, nope, soundboard sound, but you're either with us or you're against us. Yeah, the only dichotomy that your soul depends on that actually matters is is truly you are either for God or against him. Well, how do I know if I'm for God? Based on his criteria. Well, what is his criteria? Well, that would be through Christ, believing in him, the demonstration of God's love to the world, his salvation that he brought to us. We didn't bring it to ourselves. Some really fancy conversations going on about that topic, especially as Owen brings up the topic of free will versus the other word he doesn't say, which is predestination. Well, guys, it just so happens that falls in the criteria of false dichotomy. And I used to have tan lines, but I've been here in in Iowa for a good 6 7 months, and they're gone. Getting pastier by the day, guys. Pastier by the day. It was what was it? It was 1 degree this morning. In a couple of days, it's going to be -10 Fahrenheit. I'm unfamiliar with these. I've talked about this too much, but it's fascinating to me. -11, it says now. Monday, the low will be -11. On Sunday, the high will be 0 Fahrenheit. I'm just unfamiliar. And supposedly tomorrow, it's going to snow all day tomorrow, which is fantastic. And that is why I'm streaming right now, as my wife does the shopping today. So that, wait, you donated a counterfeit lemon? Oh, via an emoji. Yep, no sounds for the emojis, but the real lemons, they make sounds. Actually, the ice cream has its own sound. The jet has its own sound. Oh, well, anyway, the genie, the diamond, and the ninja genie, whatever, ninja genie, Lamborghini, ninja genie. Sounds really awkward, but the ninja genie has its own sound, and then of course the jet has its own sound, and they all have different messages, and they get obviously more epic. Patience, though. Patience. I guess I got told by Legend. I'm either 100% on board with Foxter.
Yeah, yeet.
Yeah, yeet. What was that? Ice cream? Yeah, yeet. I forgot that I made that one, but for that one, but that's good. Yeah, yeet. Yeah, yeet. I understand where you're coming from, Ian. I do. I've watched Oh no, it's fine. Here, I probably even have this. Where's the thing? Where's this? I've got to go to D Live. Give me a moment. Give me a moment. I could release the thing. Let's see here. Oh yeah, 13. I can change that. Did did you guys know that you can add lemons? You can add lemons to the chest as a streamer. So how many people are even here right now? What does this say? 4? You are the lucky 4. It's just how it is. This has happened before. You guys know. So does that message come through? I don't think it does. I don't know if you, tell me if you can see what I just added to the chest because I'm just curious if it's only a message for me or if you can read it too. Because it's not going to the Restreamio full chat. Anybody have any idea? All right. Oh, it does. Okay. Well, there you go. Kaboom. There you go. Thank you, Fear. Thank you. Why are they making noise? Who is this? Am I getting I'm getting messages from relatives on Family Search. This means that I'm getting horribly distracted. Let's not do that. Let's just chill. Obviously, I have no dancing inclinations. That's not the right word. I'm not a skilled dancer. I have no groove. I do think that I have an ear for music. I know if I you guys give it your own grade. Feel free to publicly say what you would grade it. I would give this a 78 out of 100 for quality, groove, refinedness. I would give it a 78 out of 100. I think that I just a C, not a, I guess that's a C plus. Depends on your grading scale. Could be a solid C or it could be a C plus, depending. But I would grade it as 78 out of 100. That's just me though. If I had to do a 5 point scale, like 1 through 5, I'd probably give it a 2 out of 5. And I know that that's 40 and not say. Well, I guess I should say 3. I don't know. It's kind of awkward. Maybe 78's a little high. Does that sound a little high? Wooden door high? Well, I feel like 3/4 is where my heart says that the production value. Um, whatever. Did the lemons go out? I missed a message. I didn't see a message. I didn't see who won, but I'm guessing that somebody got the lemons. So it's fine. Let's see here. What happens if I click on somebody's name? Nothing. Well, I mean, stuff happens. I was just wondering. Huh. All right, false dichotomies. Perfect example. Ian shared. You either agree 100% with somebody like Vox Day, or you're not able to be friends. That's a good. I don't know if that's a great example of a false dichotomy, but it's a false dichotomy within the person's name that thinks that you must agree 100% with a person that you agree with to the extent of your own personal knowledge of that person's beliefs and uh, espoused values. And if somebody doesn't agree to the degree at which you're not even at in your own personal knowledge, then they can't be your friend. And I know I'm getting a little overcomplicated with my semantics there, but there's I've been married for a decade, and I don't know I don't know 100%. I think I'm in the I think I think what happens is you learn a lot fast, and then you barely take away, like it's like 10%, 10%, 10%, 10% up to 80, right? And then it's like 2%, 2%, 2%. And then once you get to 90, it's like 1/100,000th of a percent. One. So like the distance from 90 to 100 is like 100 distances compared to 0 to 90. Counterintuitive, I know, but that's just the way that I see the depth. And it has to do with time. Um, I know I'm a little low. Crank it up a little bit. But I know it has to do with time, and there's new things, and people change over time. So you're never at 100% anyway because of that. I get that. I understand. I hear you as you anyway. But it is an absurd thing to ask somebody. If you don't agree with this person, you can't be my friend. Why is Jesus the exception? Because he's the creator of the universe. So, special privs. You got privs, bruh? I got privs. It's really hard to keep that. I don't think it's a 64th. It's like it's a 1 2 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4. That's not 30 seconds either. But there's a special rhythm that I don't know mathematically, the musical notation for this. Let me see if I can pull it off. I could do it better in person. This is triggering an audio file every time I hit the key, right? So I could do it better with my voice. One, two, three, four, 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4. I don't think that that's 64ths, but I could be, obviously I could be wrong. I'm wrong sometimes. Um, I named that song Face Melt. Talk about a name that called for way more. It was not quite a face melty song, but the guitar privs, that's right. Yeah, I don't consider anybody outside of the body of Christ a friend. That's just my. Everybody's different, so and the word. Here's the thing: define your terms is my go-to in that regard, which is an excellent statement on topic about the process of establishing or identifying false dichotomies. So name your terms. And by the way, as I'm riffing uh, on this topic, oh, whoops, I'm just, I thought I was going to hit a beat, but oh, whoops. Um, just Name some false dichotomies that you're aware of. New ones that you think that we haven't heard of. Be fun. But my point is define your terms. So the question in this one is what does friend mean to you? Now we can do a Webster's. In fact, that's exactly what I'm doing. I'm going to 1828, one of the greatest websites on the internet. We're going to find out what they defined a friend as in 1828. I've already established that Noah Webster was a legend. I assume he was a real man, but he was very legendary. Friend, noun. One who is attached to another by affection. One who entertains for another sentiments of esteem, respect, and affection, which lead him to desire his company and to seek to promote his happiness and prosperity, opposed to foe or enemy. Proverbs 17:17 is part of the definition of number one. A friend loveth at all times. Proverbs 17:17. You don't see very many Bible verse references in dictionaries these days, but I grew up with a dictionary that had Bible verse references like that in the Webster's 1828. Legend. Definition number two, and we'll go right to the end, just because this is an interesting topic. One not hostile, opposed to an enemy in war. One reconciled after enmity. Let us be friends again. An attendant, a companion. A favorer, one who is propitious as a friend to commerce, a friend to poetry, a friend to charitable institution, a favorer, friend, a friend of. We were familiar with friend of. A favorite, Hushai was David's friend. So being somebody's favorite is another way of looking at the word friend. A term of salutation, familiar compilation. Hello, friend. Yeah, absolutely. Friend, how camest thou in hither? Matthew 22:12. Two Bible verses. Actually, we're going on number three. So Christ calls Judas his friend, though a traitor. Matthew 26. Again, Webster 1828 gets it. Friend, formerly a paramour. I don't know what that word means. Paramour. Number nine, the last, a friend at court, one who has sufficient interest to serve another. Very nice. Very nice indeed. I do recommend Webster's Dictionary 1828.com. 1828 in numbers, 1828.com. Webster's Dictionary 1828.com. Thank you for calling. This is Devin, aka Gospel Bear. How can I help you? Just kidding. I don't work for Webster's Dictionary 1828. I'm not quite that old. I'm old. Don't get me wrong. Every time I interact with other human beings, I recognize just how old I am. I feel most at ease with other 70-year-olds in conversation. And that's, you know, almost a generation above my own parents. The people that are twice my age, I seem to get the most along with. Was that true when I was 18? When I was 18, and in fact, if you find my other YouTube channel, because it's still there, YouTube Hasn't deleted it. Any channels like they said they were going. Well, they didn't say. Like everybody said they were going to, but they. I have a YouTube channel that I started in 2007, maybe 2006, and my videos are all still there. I downloaded them all precautionary, but anyway. But I discuss hanging out with a group of 28-year-olds, I believe, 28 to 32, somewhere in that range, and I was 21, and I was like, oh, this is kind of cool. And they felt kind of worlds apart, but I got along with them a lot better than my own aged people, because my own aged people were, especially at that time, just not into the things I was into. It's weird, guys. It's weird to spend most of your life feeling like you just don't fit in. This is good introspective ambient soundscaping. You got it. You got it going. Oh, thank you. Introspective. I didn't think of it that way. Um, you're either with me or against me. I don't know if that's a. I don't know if that's a false dichotomy. I mean, that's God's false. I mean, not false. That's God's dichotomy. But it's my only chance. I used to say that a lot in high school. You should join my band. It's your only chance to make it big. That's hilarious. False dichotomies like Zeno's paradoxes. I would require some education. Fear. I am unfamiliar with the concept of Zeno's paradoxes. Yeah, you should join my band. You either join my band or you'll never make it big. That is that is a good example of a false dichotomy. Yeah, thanks for pointing that out. It's not the ones that I had in mind. You're either a bear or you're a loser. That would be a that would be a false dichotomy because you have to define your terms first of all, and for all intents and purposes, there's no official definition. But even if there's an unofficial definition that vaguely resembles, there's drastic differences amongst those who have bear names and so on, and that's obvious, provably obvious that the bear name is. It's not even there's not even a commonality of similar desires because some people just desire to be seen and heard, whereas ideally what I think the best case with the whole bear concept is someone who cares about homesteading and being protective of their family and not letting people run all over them in a very simple way of putting it. But I'm sure if you asked 100 people, you'd get at least 20 different answers, if not 100. Stupid is as stupid does. Is that a false dichotomy? Not necessarily because it's not it's not framing two groups and saying you must choose a group. Um, yeah, saying there are only two choices when there are more. Exactly. Thank you, Fear. And for you guys that aren't chemists with PhDs in chemistry, like myself, I don't have a PhD, guys, and I definitely didn't get my degree in chemistry. But I just happen to have known that iron is Fe and argon is Ar and FeAr. I just get self-conscious about saying people's non-screen names because it's easier to say fear than iron argon. That doesn't flow off of the tongue, so I'd rather say fear. Anyway, it's fine. Everything's fine. I don't think stupid is idiom. Close to an idiom. I'm not enough of a grammar nerd to confirm or deny that, but close. I would think it's not a what's a gerund? It's not a gerund, right? Idiom is probably I know cats and dogs is an idiom. What's a gerund? Is it? Don't tell me that a gerund is just a run-on sentence. That would be really sad. Is any various non-finite verbs forms in various languages? What? Oh, when a verb acts as a noun. Okay, so that's definitely not it. Yeah. Like friending. Yeah. Well, maybe friending actually isn't. I have no idea. I mean, I do, but I don't have the. It's just not where I'm at right now to try and break down the meaning of gerund. Bears, yeah, but that's the thing, Chinese bear. That's the thing. A lot of people have a lot of people have different concepts of what crushing even means. Um, I used to be a manager of a group home not too many years ago, and those teenagers, why are my children making noise? Like, bedtime means bedtime. Those teenagers that I was in charge of applied a very different word or meaning to the word crush. And awkwardly enough, they would say that they were going to crush a ham sandwich and crush a taco and crush a cheeseburger. But they would also apply crush to physical relations with another human being. So, again, define your terms. And I'm not telling you to go on the defensive and define these terms. I'm saying that when things mean different things to people, it's as simple as that. I didn't realize Leinenkugel was out of Wisconsin. 6 generations of family brewing. I wonder if all of those generations were in Wisconsin, because that'd be kind of epic. I suppose that's when it was brewed. Yeah. Well, anyway, getting distracted. Obviously, drink water. Drink water every day and be healthy, or continue to drink sodas and be unhealthy. Nope. It's a if it is, it's a little over contrived. Um, Let me give you a better example. Let me give you a better example. Well, I mean, I was just trying to steer away from the ones that Owen has given. Are you a Republican or a Democrat? Are you a leftist or a right winger? Are you those? Those are the false ones. Um, Flat Earth, round Earth. One thing is for certain: it is whatever God made it is. That is was extra at the end. It is whatever God made it. Period. So, not a dichotomy, right? False dichotomy potentially with the flat round thing. Let's see. Water. It I don't know if I could think of one actually with water. For some reason it led my mind to like working out, but there's not a title I can think of. because I want to say the word exerciser, and that sounds really awkward. You an exerciser or not an exerciser? Um, oh, athletic. You athletic or not athletic? It might. I don't know. It's probably not a good example, and it's really not important either. Same bird. I'm terrible at this. It's fine, Creative Bear. You were excellent at the gospel, so it's nothing you need to feel bad about as far as that goes. I think I already said this. I said thank you to, excuse me, thank you to Hand Drawn Bear for telling about the program Krita, Krita. I haven't used it yet, but I saw her using it, and I was just like, whoa, 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 whoa. It's a pretty amazing app. It looks like it's great for working with vectors. And I've read and learned about a ton of different free software, and I've never heard of this. And it yeah, so I'm really excited to use it because I've got some projects that I need to take care of. So which I used to stream some of that stuff. All right, so I can't really think of man, those alerts. Are you down or not? Huh. I don't know. Oh, are you talking about like, are you going to be complicit or compliant or not? Is that what down means? Is that what the young people are are saying these days? Are you down or not? You down or not? You down? You gonna be down? Cause we about to. Oh, I missed it. Cause we about to. Oh, whoops. Cause we about to. I'm not gonna put my hand up. Sound effects, guys. It's all good. You down? Is that 10-4? Yeah, I'm just being ridiculous. You brought it up. Um, yeah, the soundboard thing was kind of fun, guys. I saved ones that I was interested in.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Some of us grew up hearing that commercial. That's right. And only you. Yep, that's right. And I felt like I had a list mentally somewhere. All right, so I guess I'll have to there was a really good verse that I read today, so I'm gonna just hop over there. Pompey. Chinese bear. I call him Smokey because I was born in the 80s. Speaking of bears.
Careful, there's a bear out there.
I have no idea where that's from. I just found it. That was funny. Let's see. There's a really good verse. I was trying to find it. All right, Luke 16:25-26. But Abraham said to him, "Son, remember that during your lifetime you had everything you wanted, and Lazarus had nothing. So now he is here, being comforted, and you are in anguish. And besides, there is a great chasm separating us, and anyone wanting to come to you from here is stopped at its edge, and no one over there can cross to us." Interesting. Seriously, though. What is it talking about? It's talking about the great chasm between life and death. There's a few. This is just kind of a rehash on the topic of praying to dead people. Um, let's see. Ecclesiastes 9:4-6. But anyone still alive has hope. Even a live dog is better off than a dead lion. The living know they will die, but the dead know nothing. Dead people have no more reward, and people forget them. After people are dead, they can no longer love or hate or envy. They will never again share in what happens here on earth. I'll just repeat that 2 more times, fair warning. They will never again share in what happens here on earth. They will never again share in what happens here on earth. They as dead people, just just in case you weren't linking the subject and everything. I'll say it one more time. They will never again share in what happens here on earth. It's just one verse. It's just one verse. Anyway, it's interesting because then I think about all the ways that God makes. Does that eliminate reincarnation? Yes. No one is. There's no precedence for reincarnation in the Bible, Chinese bear. Just so you know, none whatsoever. It has to exist to be eliminated. Let me. It has to exist to be eliminated. Yeah, it says after people are dead, they can no longer love or hate or envy. They will never again share in what happens here on earth. So the existing part, sarcasm about reincarnation. I didn't follow the I didn't follow the logic there. Okay, what time is it? 8:13. Okay, we got about 45 minutes. And yes, I did title this False Dichotomies. So let's talk about random stuff. Um, yes, there's a false dichotomy. You're either you're either dead forever or you get born again in a new body. Yeah, there's a false dichotomy. Anyway, let me tell you a little bit about my day. So I run customer service for two separate websites. I take phone calls, I take emails, and I have to answer these emails and place and process orders um, in a timely fashion. And then I also have to develop the websites in their components and do research for that and add things to the platform, the selling platform. So this is the general gist. In the process of doing that, I can't help but keep myself occupied in addition to all of that, even though I've got plenty to do. So I'll listen to podcasts or not podcasts because I don't even know where to find those. But I'll listen to YouTube videos about farming or religious theology, doctrine stuff, and Icelandic pronunciation tutorials, just whatever, all kinds of different things. Hey, sarcasm is a problem for me in person. So, but anyway, so I do that for 9 hours, and then I eat and take uh, some breaks. And by some breaks, I mean any time that I just really have to go to the restroom. But otherwise, I'm sitting here for 9 hours doing that 5 days a week. But when I get off, there's an urgency at 4, do 7 to 4, sometimes 6 to 4, sometimes 6 to 4:30, sometimes even as late as 5. Um, there's an urgency at 4 o'clock that I must engage with my wife and my 3 children. So I look for the different ways that I can do that. I see what needs to be done, and then I see what can be done and participate accordingly. So this evening, I was on section 3 of a worksheet that I handcrafted for my daughters who are doing the homeschool thing, and they're working on rounding numbers and math problems related to rounding numbers right now. So I created a worksheet for them that was outside of the box, and it took 3 separate days to complete my one-page worksheet, but they did it. They struggled through the way. But the funny thing is, what happens is come a week from now, they're going to exhibit mastery on the subject because I just put them through a little miniature boot camp of math. And not a common core style, but just a different way of looking at things, a different way of addressing numbers um, than most of the curriculums are discussing. So anyway, so I do that. I've got three children because this came up uh, the last time I streamed, which might have been yesterday. I believe it was yesterday. Oh, I finally get what you were talking about. Thank you, Homestead. Valid. All right. Um, I love how you said same bird, by the way, Iron Argon. Um, I'm just now realizing wing and wing of a bird. It just finally registered. Wow, that'll throw me off. So most of the time, not every time, but most of the time, uh, my daughters being 13 months apart, I engage with them as both of them. Sometimes I'll have individual conversations with them. That's where I treat them as individuals. But in regards to things like work, schoolwork, activities, they're together. In regards to personal development, spiritual development, anything like that, individual, unless it's church, in which case it's the whole family. But anyway, then I have my son that is approaching 4 years old quickly, and he's understanding language much to a much larger degree, and he's grown up. He's starting to understand things a lot more, and I want to be very intentional, and I try to be very intentional with the way that I spend time with him. So my priority for at least a good hour and a half, 5 days of the week, and then obviously the weekends are all day, is family, family time. And then so that's 4 to 5:30 to 6ish, right? Right before they start getting ready for bed. Um, and then there's attention that has to be uh, sometimes it's 6 to 7, 6 to 7:30. Sometimes it's 6 to the rest of the evening in attention and participation as a husband. And sometimes that's us together. Sometimes that's me doing husband list things. So whatever the case, when I make a comment like I didn't have time, and then I clarify I didn't spend the time, I didn't use my time that way. That's why. It's because um, it's because though I very much enjoy and appreciate the opportunity to share my life and uh, and hang out with folks. Which, by the way, for the first couple of months, there was pretty much zero people watching me. From blonde privilege to a while in, I had no engagement, and I was just making videos off the top of my head. But it wasn't that I was trying to make content that people would like. I was just basically saying what was on my mind, and the type of role playing that I do in private, I just was sharing basically. Are you saying you were LARPing? Whatever you want to call it. I don't know. Not in the negative sense. Blonde Privilege is one of the greatest videos I think I ever made. I I still think it's pretty hilarious. But anyway, I also watched my moon Let's Go to the Moon video today, and fact, text, and sarcasm do not work. Yeah, I know Rainn Wilson's um, his diction, is that the right word? How he was just thinking about the sun and the moon. I was just thinking about the sun and the moon. Reincarnation and the sun and the moon. You lost me, Chinese bear. I do not get it. Anyway, so when I hop on here and then I say I didn't have time, obviously that's not a correct statement. I probably have plenty of time, but I spend my time engaging with my family. It's my priority, and this is not. This is this is in the number 2 or number 3 place. Well, I guess it has to be in the number 3 because family supersedes my work, which has been proven evidential over the course of the last 10 years. And I hope not to make work more of a priority, but I hope for more stability with my current occupation. But definitely family is over work, and then work is over this. And this is important to me. And I, in some ways, believe that it's a little bit part of ministry that I may be able to provide and give those things that are part of my spiritual gifts. That takes time, that takes relationship. Every now and then I feel like I might get the opportunity to do those things. Um, but this has been pretty unpredictable. When I started D Live, there was like regularly double digits, and folks are busy with the holidays, I guess. Things have changed, put it that way. So, anyway, what else? I'm going to go here, and I'm going to let you stare at nothing and listen to my groove while I step away. Check on things. I will be back. Everything is fine. Oh, man. So, with that being said, I'd say I spend about twice as much time with my wife as I spend with my children, even though there's three of them. But I consider that a good thing for a couple of reasons. I guess one of the primary reasons would have to do with in 15 years, we don't want to wind up having the empty nest syndrome where the husband and the wife, they look at each other and they go, "Who are you?" Which happens. There's a lot of divorces that happen, not because they were holding it off, but just because they never even took time to get to know each other during the raising of their children. Seriously. They get caught up in their career and all that sort of stuff. Not going to happen here. Not going to happen here at all. What? Where is everybody? Because this is a slow evening. Is there something going on I don't know about? Do I need to? Do I need to see something? Let's see here. I need to see. See, I wondered. Thanks. Thanks, Creative Bear. That makes sense.
Where does life start in our mothers?
Okay. So he's doing a campfire chat, which, people like. But he's only at 2.8, which is kind of low, which makes me wonder how recently he started. It's a coincidental thing. I feel like he's far more consistent in the nights that he streams than I am, and I think that it's just coincidence. Why, thank you, Homestead Bound Bear. Um, and now you got to hear the sound associated with the diamond. Uh, yeah, that makes sense. Did you like the message? It says anybody that does a diamond, it says that you're a legend. Um, yeah, I don't know, guys. All I see is has been muted for 5 minutes, has been muted for 5 minutes, has been muted for 5 minutes. Comment has been muted from. That's what it looks like when you're looking at Owen's chat. It's kind of funny. So, thank you. Thank you for the diamond. And I don't, the Mario mushroom sound, I thought it was kind of cool. I don't really have too much else. I was thinking about grooving, doing some more groove. But I'm not really good with improving stuff like that. And then obviously hydrogen is even more complicated. I'll show it to you though. It's a good app to take a peek at. Take a peek at here. So this is what let me zoom that out of the way. So this is what it looks like. It's a decent looking app and relatively intuitive if you're into making beats. But as far as hydrogen goes, as far as I can tell, it's a drum kit only. Like for instance, I can go down here to this pattern. I'll go to pattern 4, and I can go to cowbell, and then I can click input, and I can pick a note, right? So I know I'm just clicking all over. I'm just letting you. This is gonna sound like garbage. Just prepare yourself. Yeah. But anyway, so you can do notes, but it's very limited. You can do that with, I guess, the cowbell and the toms, the low and the mid and the high toms. So you could almost make melodies, but it would be really tough. Is there a clear button? Clear. Oh boy. Clear? Okay. Oh crap. That's okay. It just clears that. I wanted to clear the pattern. Oh. Well, obviously I'm no expert on the program. But off topic, I highly River by Leon Bridges. I've never heard of Leon Bridges. But I will look it up. I will do that. In fact, I could probably do that without you having to hear it, so I don't violate any YouTube rules or anybody else's rules for that matter. Let me look it up right now. River by Leon Bridges. 10 million. Oh, whoops. What's going on? Oh, because it's using my microphone, it won't switch over. Okay, well, apparently I can't do that when I'm streaming because, yeah, it, because the computer is smarter than me. That's why. Don't say that. Okay, then I won't say it. Any questions, guys? Does anybody have any existential crisis questions? Otherwise, I'm gonna hop off. There's only a handful of people I'm gonna be hosting on my D Live. FYI, I'm not interested in hosting certain people just because I'm not trying to ask for trouble. And I have nothing to do with Secret Kings or any of that nonsense. Any questions, though? As you can tell, I've yawned a couple of times tonight. Please, and email them to me because I was going to name this Gravy Train, and I didn't talk about any gravy really, but So here's what happened. I spoke against abortion about a year ago, and Nathaniel Slattery, aka Nathaniel Slattery Bear, I need to say the proper to protect his identity. Nathaniel Slattery Bear uh, hit me up with a tenor. Uh, that's otherwise known as a Hamilton. Hamilton. So he hit me up with the Hamilton, aka a tenor, and it was just like, fight the good fight. I'm all about anybody that's doing anything to take down abortionists. And I was like, thank you. I won't let this go to waste. Um, like, I will not dishonor your support of that. And that is actually where I don't feel like my own intelligence came up with the concept of Operation Baby Landlord. I lean towards thinking that that was probably an idea that came from God somehow, some way. But anyway, I'm not saying that you have to. I'm not saying that you need to give me money for the request by any means. But all I told that story to mean was, even a word of, hey, this is an important topic to me, usually most of the time piques my interest. If you are like, I really, somebody actually not too long ago was like, please do more on the mud floods in Iowa, because I had mentioned seeing a really cool video, and I was just like, yeah, I will do that sometime, but it's on the in the next 365 days list, so it's a back burner concept for me because I don't see it as highly important. But if you're like, I want you to dig into the Australian fires, I might be like, there's like 9,000 other people doing that. There's plenty. You don't need me. So I just so if what you mention has anything to do with not that what I care about, but rather my skill set and spiritual skill set, then I am all for it. I'd be happy to. And then some things are just interesting to me, and I'll give it my best. Um, so yeah, and I haven't been doing the Friday night stream at least a couple of times, which is unusual. Um, Again, time with family always is going to trump everything. So this, this I don't understand if it's because I mess with it or like lean on my beard, but it really like goes back. I feel it's a lion's mane, guys. It's this thing is like, it is really, it's really big, and I usually like, comb it down, but it's pretty serious, guys. I have a lot of trouble keeping my hands off of my beard. It's a problem. But yeah, share the list here. Uh, Pop it in the D Live chat because my chat isn't very active in the off hours. So that's always an option. Or you can email me. Speaking of, let me check that email because I haven't checked that in a while. So I'm gonna check my Operation Baby Landlord email and then call it an evening. Oh, I love Bible stuff. So you'll always get me with Bible stuff. Well, I say always. 99% of the time. I never emailed you back. Amazing. I wrote an email to you, Homestead. I wrote an email to you. I'm now hitting send 9 days later. So, um, that was, wow. I hate when I do that. It's so annoying. But that's it. He's the only one. So I just emailed you back, so you've got my email. I've done that so many times. It's so frustrating. You write an email, you get distracted, you close it out, you never hit send, and then they're like, "Hey, what's the deal?" And I'm like, "Hey, I emailed you." They're like, "Never mind, I didn't email you because I'm a moron and I didn't hit send. I apologize." Um, this has happened with work, and it's frustrating and embarrassing. The day of the rope was banned. No, I didn't see that it was. I heard Devin Stack talking about it. I bought the book just in the nick of the time, I guess. But I bought the book. I have Day of the Rope. I started it. Let's just say I'm way more interested in reading Nate's book because I can, without hesitate. I know I just hesitated. I just was trying to think of the best words to say it. Without hesitation, I can say that Nate is a better writer than Devin Stack. And Devin Stack was a professional writer for, if I'm not mistaken, I know he did like coding and stuff, but if I'm not mistaken, he's also written manuscripts for TV shows or radio shows or something. So he's got a background in writing. But Nate's book in the first chapter was far more interesting and intriguing in plot development terms than Devin Stack's. But I will read. I will finish it. I was just, and I guess there's a turn off factor for Devin Stack. I got it because I was interested and I like the way he thinks, but I also have the turn off factor because he's, uh, to my knowledge, he's a Christian enthusiast agnostic. So yeah, my wife and I have been looking over the Baby Landlord. Yeah. Like I said before, and I'll say it again, Operation Baby Landlord needs sleuths, and the support that it needs is the support that it needs is people to do the research that I have provided the instructions to be able to do. And I'm not assuming that anybody else will be watching these videos, but for some weird reason, I've been getting like 20 or 30 views on my YouTube videos on the YouTube side. So I I don't know if that's weird or not, but it seems kind of weird. So for anybody that does watch this, yeah, like I got 20 views on the milk and flour episode. Now my view count is down on YouTube at least. Wheat and Chaff got 47 views. Like, for why? It's fine. It's so funny to watch your old videos, though. I tell you what. Um, 8 likes, and it was still at 62% on that wheat and chaff episode. So I guess that means I don't know what that means. I do, but I don't. It's fine. What is going on? Hey, Jeremy. You're popping in right about when I'm popping out. Um, oh my God, he said it was popping out.
OMG.
He said OMG.
OMG.
Um, all right. Lacking literary elements. Trying to make some point, not focusing on being a good author. Yeah, it was kind of that, and what it was more so was that Devin Stack, as I was reading his book, I was like, I can see the black pilled philosophy in this character, which is obviously the point, but I don't know, it felt a little contrived. It felt a little, like when you read something and you know somebody a little. I shouldn't act like I know him at all, but um, I know him a little, you know, tiny bit. But when you feel like you're reading something that somebody's written and you're like, you're still trying to figure yourself out, aren't you? I can tell. That's all I mean. How dare you? You're such a condescending. I haven't seen you write anything. Anyway, yes. Oh, oh, Ian, I thought you weren't here for my dude. Dude,
Checkmate.
yes,
Base. OMG. What?
yes.
Base.
Base is the answer.
Base. Base.
Is the answer. Uh, yeah, I think I probably started watching him in the 2 or 3 million. Um, yeah, he's a young guy, but just he's one of my favorite YouTubers. It's so weird. It really is, and it's
Base.
I I don't know, guys. Like I said, I do because I think it has a lot to do with being an introvert. But yeah, 2026. Because I think Davey started. Let me look at his channel real quick because I think Davey started when he was 16 years old. If I'm not mistaken, he was 16 years old. Um, dun-dun-dun-dun. What? What? Oh, U.S. troops were injured in Iran missile attack, despite Pentagon initially saying there were no casualties, says the news agency that always lies. Dang, John builds it. That's pretty cool. That's awesome. Gray Still Plays is another YouTuber that I can't help but watch these days. Gray Still Plays is pretty funny. Not epic. This needs to stop. Davey. He does look like Sylvester Stallone, though. He really does. It's hilarious. So he's at 5.4 million. Um, he too has a Patreon. Okay, so he really does look like Sylvester Stallone. It's so funny. All right, so hold on. What's up, slappers? So he started in 2011. That was 9 years ago. Yeah, so that puts him at 25. That makes sense. He's got his location identified as the United Kingdom, which I think is pretty funny and weird. Give me a moment. Huh. Interesting. Interessant. Empty ways, guys. I'm yeah, it's late for me too. Davey 504 question mark. He's a bass, well, I'll just say his own words. Italian guy who wants to share his passion for slapping the bass. Subscribe now. 792 million views. 792 million views. My YouTube channel is very close, or maybe it's already past 15,000 views. And I have approximately 300 and something videos, maybe 400 and something. So, yeah, anyway. So, I'm done, guys. I'm gonna go. Wait, Neck and Neck, you know about that song? Oh, Neck and Neck. Um, I got you. You're saying 796 million and 15,000. Yeah, it's pretty close. I'll catch up pretty quick, probably by the end of this year if you think about it. Neck and Neck is a song by Zed's Dead, I think. It's another style of music I like to listen to sometimes. You guys, anybody here know about that? You ain't know about that life. It's just, I will listen to that song though, and it's a pretty nice sound. It is. Thanks, Creative Bear. Anyway, to all of you, love the Lord your God with all your heart, mind, soul, and strength, and your neighbor. That that guy. Who is my neighbor? Read the Bible. Read the Bible. You'll figure it out. How dare you leave me hanging? I had a question. Send me a list though, for real, and I'd be happy to address some biblical things. Yep. Bonsoir. Buenas noches. Good Nacht.